The Senior Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly Matters, Senator Ita Inang, told State House correspondents that the law is meant to strengthen the power of the legislators to carry out their legislative functions. These include powers to summon any person to appear before her, give evidence, as well as power of an officer of the Legislative House to arrest any person who commits an offense against the Act. And meanwhile, the president has departed Abuja for Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, to participate at the 30th ordinary session of the Assembly of Heads of State and Government of the African Union. The theme for the AU summit, namely, is winning the fight against corruption, a sustainable path to Africa's transformation. In another development, security agents have a presidential order to arrest and prosecute anyone found with illegal arms. This follows the National Security Council meeting attended by President Muhammadu Buhari, Defense Minister and the service chiefs. Buhari, giving an update on Friday on his Twitter handle, said government was stepping up efforts to tackle the proliferation of small arms and light weapons across the country. He added that the security agencies already have standing instructions to arrest and prosecute anyone found with illegal arms. Sights of herdsmen going about with AK-47 and reports of their killings of Nigerians have sparked outrage across the land. Benue State recently buried 73 victims of such attacks, followed by Taraba, where scores of people were also killed. The Federal Capital Territory Administration, FCTA, has expressed its readiness to collaborate with the Industrial Training Fund, ITF, to train youth in the territory on necessary entrepreneurial and vocational skills. The FCTA Minister, Mohamed Bello, said this when the Director General of ITF, Joseph Ari, paid him a courtesy visit on Friday in Abuja. According to him, this is in a bid to curtail the rate of unemployment in the territory and the country in general. Nigerians have accused the law enforcement agencies in the country of giving soft landing to rapists and pedophiles in the country, saying this is why the incidents have continued to increase. Those who spoke with Human Rights Radio correspondent in Abuja urged the government to strengthen the law and not to spare anyone found guilty in the act.
The issue of pedophiles is really disturbing. Right now, it's a big menace to the society. Highly unimaginable that adult men or women could indulge themselves in acts that are injurious to the life of younger ones. It starts from orientation, basically. Some people grew up with a certain orientation. In this case, we need to strengthen the laws and getting the government to do their own part. Where it is not corrected, where the people don't see that something has been done, we get what's up for it. The laws are there. What we need is a will to prosecute the laws.
The level of moral decadence in the society today is something I can't write home about. Just to go back to our lawmakers, the law should be stated clearly. Anybody involved in molesting should be spelled out, not that somebody will just do it with heinous crime and go with it free of charge. Any defaulter should face full wrath of the law. Children ought to be protected, be loved, and be given a better future.
If there is fine for that kind of case, maybe jail you, sentence you, once they implement over it, being serious about it, such thing will reduce.
It is not enough to have the laws. The most important thing is for us to have the laws punish these persons. Where somebody is a suspect, it should be tried in court. We should not treat pedophiles like people that are engaged in some other offenses that are of lesser degree. People like that ought to be punished. That will set a deterrent for potential pedophiles to learn from.
Those who spoke with Human Rights Radio correspondents in Abuja urged the government to strengthen the law and not to spare anyone found guilty in the act.
It's wrong for anybody to draw any assertion or conclusion in that regard that police give soft landing to rapists. We don't. We want to make it abundantly clear to everybody listening to us that rape or defilement or related case are capital offense that is not bailable at the level of the police and it's not compoundable. No any police officer have the right to say go and settle, whether in the house or anywhere else. Matter of rape, when suspects are arrested, are charged to court. Suspects are always arraigned in court to ensure that there's justice at the end of the day. because rape is categorized in the kind of crimes such as armed robbery, homicide, murder, and the likes, and equally such cases such as kidnapping. The gravity of the offense is very high. If you have your daughter raped or you are a victim yourself, there's what we call prompt report to the police. Even if you have an affair with somebody, that doesn't mean the person should rape you. If you are a boyfriend or girlfriend or maybe the wife or the husband, you have the right to report. But the report should be prompt. It shouldn't be after some certain consideration.
And that's the Nigerian police spokesman, Jimoh Mahmood, and he says that the force takes issues of rape very seriously. Meanwhile, Nigerians have called for speedy dispensation of justice in the country, saying excessive delays during trials have led to denial of justice to some people. In this interview, the people urged those in the judicial system to be innovative, disciplined, and focused in the performance of their duties.
I think it's because the people in the legal sector, they're not diligent. You apprehend someone, he's supposed to be given a lawyer by the government, and he gets to prison, but because he doesn't have money to pay, the lawyers are uninterested in his case, and then he doesn't get trial, and he's just postponed until someone, maybe a friend, or there's a divine intervention, and then the person finds his way out. Some people die there.
When you are deliberately delaying justice to somebody, it's corruption too. When you know that this case is in favor of this person, and as a judge or a lawyer or a IP or police or anyone, you are deliberately slowing down that process. It's part of corruption. The lawyers themselves are not helping matters. They begin to frustrate clients in terms of give me transport money, give me feeding money. Before you know, the man will run short of money. That justice process will be delayed also.
Someone might arrest another person, and because of his or her money, in quotes, the other person will rot in jail so long as he keeps paying the necessary allowances for the person to be there. And then, even if the other person is in the right, because this one has money, they keep adjourning cases, they keep postponing meetings, they keep postponing prosecutions, and justice is delayed. So that's what happens around here most times.
We need to have a monitoring process for that particular sector. So if you have particular lawyers that are public defenders, just monitor them properly. You have a case, there's a new case that came in, file it, it's on your table, have you attended to this person's case? And that's how it works. Because that's the only way you can push somebody who doesn't have empathy to do his job.
Our civil service system, which the judiciary is also part of, when the civil servant there is not well taken care of, it might frustrate a particular case because he is not taken care of by his organization or the government generally. So that one also will slow down the process. The judges should have the fear of God to do what is needful, not to drag matters. They all should see it from the human angle, not to have any fear or any favor for anybody, no matter the personality involved in that matter.
Meanwhile, some legal practitioners in Abuja told us that certain procedures that must be followed have led to delay in justice in some cases.
You cannot jump procedure. So if case come to court and the laws lay down the way the case is to progress from one stage to the other, you have to follow the procedure. And that is why when you come to court, cases are adjourned so that one procedure or the other can follow.
One of the delays is the fact that people don't have access to justice. They don't have the ability to afford what it takes for them to have access to justice. Most times, a lot of people don't even know where to identify those legal authorities or the possible enforcement organizations where they need to seek justice from. So their hands are tied. Some people don't have money to afford going to those places because they believe that for justice to be given to you, you should be able to afford them with money. So they feel that if you don't have money, your justice will be delayed. So they lack the ability to afford justice.
We have issues regarding fair hearing, giving notice to the other party, waiting for time before the other party respond to what you have served him. All these things constitutes delays to our administration of justice.
The cumbersome of cases that they always have. The court system is a place of justice. However, they have a lot of court cases that come to the courts every day for the judges to adjudicate on. You should know that the court system goes through a procedure. They have the delivery system that must go through a process, and that process must be involved in order for justice to be delivered.
Can be improved. The best way to improve it is to revisit the laws and do away with unnecessary bottlenecks.
The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has urged the Kogi State Governor, Yahaya Bello, to recall its 150 members sacked at the State University. The union also employed the Lagos State Governor, Akinwumi Ambode, to address the current crisis at the Lagos State University, LASU, before it escalates further. Addressing journalists in Oka, the zonal coordinator of ASU, Professor Ike Odumegwu, said the union would no longer condone such embarrassing situations. He said the Kogi governor should tread the path of honor and reverse his unwarranted provocations. According to him, the crisis in Kogi State University had been a recurring incident due to inadequate funding and erosion of university autonomy and academic standards by the state government. Security agents in Germany are holding a suspected Nigerian terrorist of Boko Haram sect. 27-year-old Amechi Fred was arrested in Bavaria. 24 hours later, a court issued an arrest warrant and ordered that he be remanded in custody. The chief federal prosecutor said in a statement he is strongly suspected of being a member of Boko Haram sect. The suspect, according to him, joined the terror organization in 2013 and had admitted to actively taking part in 4 attacks against Nigerian civilians during his 1-year membership of the group. He is also accused of killing several people during 2 attacks on schools and 1 attack on a village, and taking part in another attack on a village during which members of the sect took girls as hostages and burnt down churches. And from there, we'll take a short break, but we'll be right back. Please do stay with us. Welcome back. Another foreign scene reported at least 30 African migrants drowned when their boat capsized off the water in Yemen this week, with reports of gunfire being used against those on board. The United Nations on Friday said at least 152 Somalis and Ethiopians were aboard the overcrowded vessel which left Aden in southern Yemen on Tuesday. The UN Refugee and Migration Agencies in a joint statement said the vessel is believed to have been operated by crooked smugglers who were attempting to take refugees and migrants to Djibouti while also trying to extort more money from them. The boat turned back and capsized amid reports of gunfire being used against the passengers. The UN Refugee Agency said it was outraged by the latest death. And in sports, Nigeria will go head-to-head with Angola for a place in the 2018 African Nations Championship CHAN semi-finals when they lock horns in Tangier tomorrow, Sunday. The Super Eagles booked the place in the last 8 as Group C winners.
What I see in their game so far is that it's really impressive. I'm having much confidence than they started. Even before they went for the tournament, I was not having this kind of confidence before, but right now what I'm seeing in their game is that playing 3 matches and then conceding only 1 goal, that really means that they have really worked well in their defense line. So what I expect them now to do, this knockout stage, is for them to be very decisive in front of goal. They have to make good use of the final ball. They have to really get on the score sheets. By so doing, I see them make progress in this tournament. Salisu Yusuf to really work on the striking force. If they can work on that, I see them go to the final and then come back with a trophy.
The Nigerian team should endeavor, do everything possible to try and bring the trophy to Nigeria. They have done well so far, finishing tops in their group. I think they have a better chance this time around of going all the way.
Though the first leg wasn't too encouraging and we almost gave up on them, but we thank God they put themselves together. The second leg and the third one, and now they're in another stage. So we just want to hope and believe that they will do better. I believe the Federation also, we encourage them, give them their bonuses so that they will do better, go further, and also make sure that the cup come back to Nigeria this time.
Nigeria were held to a goalless draw by Rwanda in their opening game of the tournament, but wins over Libya with 1-0 and Equatorial Guinea 3-1, and that sealed their progression. The winner of tomorrow's clash will take on either Sudan or Zambia for a place in the final of this year's tournament continental competition hosted in Morocco. And that's the news for this hour. But we'd like to remind you that President Muhammadu Buhari signs bill conferring immunity on lawmakers. ASU demands reinstatement of sacked 150 lecturers in Kogi State. Suspected Nigerian Boko Haram fighter arrested in Germany. And 30 migrants drowned after boat sinks off Yemen. And in sports, Nigeria and Angola battle for semi-final spot in CHAN 2018 tomorrow. And that's the news. Thank you for listening. My name is Oikike Igado Kure.